So I want to find all places inside Golden Gate Park, so NOPA should not be included. Now, to find them, what I will do, because that makes it a bit easier to work with that, is I'll go into the Your Places tab and create a new map there. And here, it will be a bit easier to navigate around and find coordinates, and also show which place the coordinates are for. So in here, I want to basically, well, draw a polygon around my park. So let's start here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but somewhere here will be my first place. So what I will do is I will add a marker here. I'll delete it immediately, but here we got the exact coordinates. So let's take that and let's use that in a future query. So first of all, to make this a bit easier, I'll create 4 variables, p1 let's say, which essentially will just store these coordinates. So here I have the longitude of the first place, the first corner of my polygon, and the latitude will be my second element. And since the Mongo shell uses JavaScript, I can't just create constants like this, so this value is now simply stored in p1, and we can always access it under this name. So with that, let's remove that point here, and let's create a second point in the next corner here. And of course, if you already got your coordinates, you can skip this whole exercise and just go with them. So this is my next point. Const p2. This is my longitude. Now let me grab my latitude here, copy that, and store this as a second value in this array. And let's get rid of that point now. Let's move all the way to the left, to the end of the park on the west side. Add a point here. All right. Grab the longitude of that point, like this. And of course, grab the latitude too. So let's go over there, grab the latitude, and store that in this array too. Now on to the last point, and then we're done. Let me go here. Place a marker in the corner. Grab these coordinates. Also the latitude, of course. And now all the points are stored. So just to show you which area we now marked, well, essentially we got 3 points before. Let's start like this. We have the Conservatory of Flowers, roughly, so I'll just add a point there. We also took the Academy of Sciences, so I'll add a point there. And I have a point at the Golden Park tennis courts, so at this point. We also have one at NOPA, so let's move over there. And let's add a point there. So these are 4 points. Now, the area for which I just got the coordinates is essentially the area around the Golden Gate Park. And I can draw a shape around that with that shape tool here. So this is essentially the area for which I just got the corner coordinates. And what I now want to do is I want to run a query to find all the places that are inside of this shape. And the good thing is we can easily validate this because we can see which points are in there, right? This one should not be in there. So now that I got these coordinates, let's finally get to creating that query. So on the places, let me quickly clear the console. P1 and so on are still available. So on the places, I will now find something again. And again, I will find something with the help of the location field. But there, in the location field, I now don't want to find some nearest points, so near is wrong, but instead I'll use the GeoWithin operator, $GeoWithin. This is an operator provided by MongoDB that simply can help us find all elements within a certain shape, within a certain object, typically something like a polygon. GeoWithin takes a document as a value, and here we can add a geometry object, which is just a GeoJSON object. So the value here is a GeoJSON object. The type now is not a point, but a polygon. That's important. Coordinates need to be added, of course. And now I need to add the coordinates of a polygon. Now, how do I add a polygon? Obviously, a point was just a pair of coordinates. A polygon actually uses a bit more coordinates. To be precise, we need the 4 corners. For a polygon, we add a nested array. So an array in an array. And in that array, we then again add more arrays, where each array now describes one longitude-latitude pair of the corners of our polygon. So I already got these arrays, so to say, in my constants P1 to P4, which I created. So essentially what we add here is P1, P2, P3, P4 to describe the four corners of our polygon. There is one important thing though, I need to P1 again at the end, because a polygon has to end with the starting point so that it's treated as complete. Now with that, if I hit enter, I do get back results, and I can print them, and we see the California Academy of Sciences in there, we see the Golden Gate Tennis Park, and we see the Conservatory of Flowers. What we don't see is NOPA, which makes a lot of sense because it is not within these boundaries. So this is how we can also check whether something is in a certain area with the help of GeoWithin and the geometry operator, and then a polygon instead of a point. A polygon, as you learned, is in the end created with coordinates that hold a nested array with the different corner coordinates. Important here is that you also add the first corner as a last element to close the polygon.